Hi there. Welcome to the Victory Wilson Show. This show is committed to providing insight and solutions to our viewers who may have encountered various challenges and traumatic experiences in their lives. Be sure that on the Victory Wilson Show, we will be seated with therapists, psychologists, and professionals who will provide expert advice and solutions to this problem. My name is Victory Wilson, your host. And today on the show, we'll get right into the topic that we will be dealing with. Today's case is focused on a best friend's betrayal. And this case is the case of Dotso and Jai. So Dotso and Jai have been friends since secondary school, but are now out of higher institutions, and they are both in the same field of work. But Jai is an employee of a company and works 9 to 5, while Dotso is self-employed. Dotso knew that his friend is well skilled in his area of specialization, and if they should collaborate to create their own company, they would achieve more and make it big. He tried to convince his friend to come work with him, since they're not paying him so much in his company. But Jai wasn't convinced about leaving his 9 to 5 job, but assured his Dotso that he is open to working with him while still doing his 9 to 5 job. Dotso secured a project with the company and invited his friend to work on the project with him. The project was successful, and Dotso paid his friend for the job done even more than he requested. Dotso was retained, and he got more jobs from the company. Jai soon realizes that without his contributions to the project, his friend Dotso wouldn't be able to make it that far, and decided to withdraw. Because of his financial gain, he no longer wanted to be paid for the job, but have an equal share with Dotso. He said he does more work and should get more on the project. When his friend disagreed with his propositions, he went behind him to sign a new deal with the company, telling them that he is the one doing all the work and that they could go away with Dotso's part or do away with Dotso's part on the project. But his own part is essential and would like to work with them separate from his friend. The company accepted Jai's offer and ended the contract with his friend Dotso. Dotso was so pained. He felt betrayed, and this incident ended things between the two of them. As things stand right now, they are sworn enemies and can never be friends in life again. Hi there. Welcome to the Victory Wilson Show, a show dedicated to providing valuable insights and solutions by addressing traumas and difficulties that individuals may have experienced in their lives. Featuring insightful interviews with leading psychologists, counselors, therapists, and individuals sharing their own difficulties and journeys. This show provides a supportive space for anyone seeking clarity and healing. You'll find inspiration to navigate life's difficulties and practical tips right here. Subscribe now to Victory Wilson TV. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery, healing, and growth together. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me a professionally trained therapist from the Institute of Counseling, Nigeria, specializing in relationship, couples, and family counseling, Mrs. Olufunke Igetunde Lawrence. Thank you so much for joining me on the show, man.
It's a pleasure to be here today, and I will be very glad to prefer that which would bring more light into the issue we are going to be looking at today.
Yes, thank you. Such a pleasure. This is a case that I'm sure that most people deal with in our world today. Having heard the story, what's your expert opinion?
So the case of Dotso and Jai, as rightly mentioned, is a case of betrayal. And betrayal happens between two people. It's not just in business, but this one we are looking today is an overflow of a relationship or friendship into business. So betrayal itself has to do with relationship of different levels. But we are going to be looking at it now from the angle of business.
Yes.
But this is an overflow of a relationship that started right when they were in school. So the number of years they've spent together in school, they were together in the same department, they have the same trainings, but somehow Jaye seems to be a little bit on the side of the contract that we are looking at. We talk about two things here now: relationship, that's friendship, and business.
Yes.
I want to split it into two. Relationship, basically, there are three things involved in this. So I'll be using two techniques together, and these are my two favorites.
Okay.
The CBT, which is the cognitive behavioral therapy, and the EFT, emotion focused therapy, because we are talking about wounded emotions here. We're talking about two people that were friends and suddenly they are now enemies, sworn enemies, which is not something that is new. So now we break it down. Three things are involved in relationship. Basically, in this case, we have love, we have forgiveness, we have trust. There are other aspects of relationship, but I cropped out these three as it has to do with betrayal. Dotun loves his friend enough to bring him in to the career that he's doing, possibly saying there is an advantage in them doing a collaboration. In business, that is partnership. But the question I should have asked Dotun would be, at the time you were asking Jaye to come, did you define it? Was it going to be a partnership? How much is the sharing ratio? Who brings in the assets? Businesses are not done on assumption. If you are bringing in your friend, your relatives into business, the conditions has to be well spelled out. Lawyers has to be involved. Contracts have to be signed. There should be an agreement. But bringing him verbally, there is nothing to sue in the court of law. So now asking him to do collaboration with you because you feel bringing him in can do, then I can also possibly ask Dotun, has there ever been a time when they have been doing some collaborations in school? Has there been any time possibly in study? Has there ever been a time when Jaye was always the one on the helping side onto Dotun, and Dotun has seen him as a shoulder to lean on, as a trustworthy person? This trust issue may just have developed, because for him to go ahead to say, come join me to do collaboration, it's more possible that Jaye had been a trustworthy person
for a very long time.
So, but now they left school, he's doing a 9-to-5 job. You are asking him to leave his job. And have you considered, if you ask him to leave the job, the question is, what was the partnership agreement? Was it just be coming to work with me? Are you coming to work with me? Jaye coming to work with me? I'll be paying you salary. Okay, now Jaye put it that I can't leave my job, but I can do this as a side job. So it means that Jaye has two sources of income. Why Dotun just have one?
So now it's been clarified, from the story that Dotun submitted, we can see that there was no prior agreement. They just entered into this thing as friends. And now somebody's heart is broken. The relationship is broken. Trust is broken. And Dotun is the one that says he's hurting right now. Something has been stolen from him. He has made Jaye his lifetime enemy. So as it is now, what can be done to this relationship? How can Dotun heal? Is there any way forward? Is there any repair for them?
Yes, there are ways forward. So the first thing we want to bring now is love. Love is something that binds two people beyond romantic love. So now he has love that they've grown for years has just been shattered. But I put it to you that love is a choice. He can decide to love Jaye back and decide not to. It's a choice. And the fact that he's going to decide not to love him back doesn't mean he will switch to hating him. So it's a choice, because this is a hurting man.
So he has the choice.
He has the choice
to love Jaye back.
To love Jaye back or not. It's a choice. Then we come to the second part that Dotun need to consider right now, and that is forgiveness. Forgiveness is something you do for yourself to people, not something you do because someone asks for it. If Dotun would be waiting for Jaye to come back, it may never happen. And so Dotun may not heal. So you don't expect people that have wronged you to come back, because they may never come back. So once you keep hurting and you are expecting him to come the other person to come back to his senses. If Dotun keeps saying, I know he will come back one day, maybe he has always done that before, it may not happen. So his own part is to let go, and that is forgiveness. It doesn't matter whether he deserves it, so that his emotions, our emotions controls several aspects of our lives. It affects our health. As at now, Dotun would need to go for medical checkup. It affects our health. It affects other relationships. How is Dotun reacting to others around him who are not part of this business contract? Is he married? If he's married, then he may need to re-examine. After these incidents, have I been behaving in the house? What about other staffs? Have I been responding to them? Have I been reacting to others? These questions are also reflecting the issue on ground. So now we have mentioned
Love.
I've mentioned forgiveness. Then we look at the word trust. Trust is something people hate once they have broken.
I wanted to ask that once trust is broken, can it
has to be earned?
It has to be earned.
Yes.
But is it possible to rebuild that trust?
It is possible to rebuild that trust. But the one who has broken that trust will leave that to the one whose trust has been broken.
So it goes without it saying that you've broken the trust. It is now left for the person that you offended to decide whether to accept to trust you.
And also how long it will take if he has even decided. And you don't expect it.
You don't even think about it.
You don't think about it. And can I please tell you that relationship can exist without trust? It can love without trusting.
Wow.
It can forgive without trusting.
Wow.
Yes. It can love him back without trusting.
So in this case of Dotun and Jaye, you said there can be love without trust. How is it possible for Dotun to love Jaye again without trusting him?
That's why I say loving him is a choice. He may decide to do that. If he decides to do that as a choice to love, then trust is something that Jaye will have to earn. And that is why when Jaye would have proved himself as trustworthy.
I want to put myself in the shoes of Dotun and say, how can I bring myself to now love Jaye again? Because right now he's saying that Jaye is a sworn enemy. So it can even be a generational thing, the way it looks like now.
That's why
So how can he bring himself to now love Jaye again?
It's a choice because he has other friends. It's when he is ready for it. When he has healed. It is not now.
You know, I said I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of Dotun now. Because bringing yourself to love that person again is hard. Is that even the best decision for him right now?
And that's why I said, as far as Dotun and Jaye is concerned, yes, the best to do now is to put him out of the equation.
So his decision on making him a sworn enemy is a good decision.
It is not also a good decision. That's why I said, if he has chosen not to love him, it is not an option to hate him. It is to just put Jaye outside of the equation.
But is it okay to make amends and rebuild that friendship? Reconciliation of that kind of friendship with that height of
we are
betrayal.
talking about two things here. We are talking about friendship and business.
Business, yes.
So friendship is separate from business. So reconciliation as a friend is different from reconciliation that also has to do with what we are talking about.
Okay.
So loving him as a friend, not bringing him into business, is still going to be a choice of Dotun. If he chooses not to, it's a choice. Reconciliation is possible, but it's optional. Because sometimes the other person may take it as an advantage. And you do not understand, maybe the person also has changed. So that's why I say trust will be earned. But you can choose to love, but not bring him into business on the level of trust. You can see what I said, he can love without trusting.
So you can choose to amend the relationship, fix things with Jaye, but not have any business to do with him anymore.
And if there will be business to do, what he should have done at the inception that he didn't do is what he would do. It means there will be need for lawyers to be involved. Documentation.
Yes. I think that's
profit sharing. Profit sharing will be stated clearly, and everybody will know what they stand to gain. But I do not see the possibility in this. And the reason is because the company that engages Dotun has found Jaye more appropriate for them.
So now that it is like that, what should Dotun do?
What should Dotun do?
Yes.
Number one, Dotun should let go of Jaye.
Come
to reality, it has happened. Don't pretend. So once you challenge your fears, you are bringing out, I am traumatized. You don't hide it.
Yes.
You are challenging that situation. So now what he will do, how we defining crisis? Crisis is an event that you have used all your coping skills, but you can't handle it again. And if care is not taken, you may be taking dangerous coping skills, like he is trying to cope by hating Jaye that he should put out of the equation. So let him put Jaye out of the equation. Let him face his fears. Let him go back to the drawing board. Why did I need Jaye in the first instance? Shouldn't I have gone to train more? Okay, can I begin to train more? That is the first question.
First question to be answered.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because most of the times we are stuck because we are not growing. And because we are not growing, someone else, imagine Jaye saying he is the one. For Jaye to be making that, and like you mentioned, that Jaye has seen that obviously Dotun can't do that contract without him.
Yes.
So what Dotun should have done, instead of relaxing, is to grow. Is he growing? Did he grow? Is he having the mentality, I have the business name, I have the contract, I have the opportunities, Jaye doesn't have it? Then what Jaye doesn't have, why don't you have it? By doing SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses. So his strength, he has the name, he has the connection. What is he doing about his weaknesses that Jaye has seen to exploit?
So
Jaye is exploiting on that weakness, that he should have dealt with. And the opportunity came. In SWOT analysis, there is opportunity and threats. So now the company has seen that Jaye is better than Dotun. That is still the place that Dotun should have re-examined himself. So what is it that I'm not doing well, that the company has found Jaye the most appropriate to do it? And because every company wants profit, the company is justified. They also want their company, they also want their organization to move forward. No business wants to run at loss. We don't even know the kind of business it is. So, but the company finding a better person may, since it's a paid job, it's a paid relationship, so they found Jaye most appropriate. And they do not really, sorry to say, was Jaye properly introduced to the company by Dotun?
Yes, it was. From the story, Jaye was introduced to the company by Dotun. As a partner.
That is the word.
From the story.
As a partner for the job.
Yeah.
Okay, now the company now may have had something else from Jaye. And they may not find it interesting to deal with Dotun again. And who knows if Dotun has had some issues with the company alongside before Jaye came into the scenario.
So he should just look inwardly, try and develop himself.
Yes.
He should grow from the heart. He should take himself out
Everything
of the heart.
happens in the heart because your emotions concern.
Yeah.
Because at the moment...
But it's okay to grieve as well, because that is very hurtful.
Please,
people
should be educated that grief is a response. And as at now, Dotun has valid reason to grieve. He has valid reason to respond that.
Yeah. But after grieving, he should then look inwardly for his solution.
Yes.
Find a way to equip himself.
And another thing
remove Jaye from the equation.
Is to remove generalization.
Generalize. So he should not generalize and say everybody is like Jaye.
Because if he has to do that, the company may not bounce back.
But that friendship, he should not put in so much effort to rebuild it. He should just let it go.
Jaye has given him reason to show that he is no longer a friend.
He's no longer a friend.
And there is no pretense in that. Remember you said best friend, which means Dotun has other friends.
Yes.
And there are friends he hasn't made. So if I see Dotun, I will ask him, why are you grieving? Have you tried other friends? And why are you grieving? It means there are 3 resources Dotun needs to consider in this grief moment. The first resource is the material resources. The name of the business is an asset.
Yes.
Victory Wilson Show, that name is an asset. It has a name. That is one. What are the material resources it has for that organization to stand? It has staff. It has established it by himself. It has resilience. Okay, that's the third category of resources. What does it have to combat? Then the second resource Dotun may need to tell me is what are the support resources he has? What about his friends? Some friends will be giving him emotional support as at now. What about other links? If he keeps looking at Jaye, he won't look elsewhere. Then he now looks inwardly. Yes, I don't have the expertise that Jaye has. I may not be able to do it. There are some times we have tried to know certain things, but it's just not working.
Yes.
And we have to come to terms that this may not be good.
I think that was the case between Dotun and Jaye.
And that is not a problem that has no solution.
Yeah.
There is always 1,000 of Jaye outside that Dotun has not tried.
So let's sum up this case now. I think the take home for Dotun should be he should forget about Jaye.
That's one.
So he's right by saying Jaye is a sworn enemy because Jaye has shown him that he is not a friend, right? But he can choose to love
or not.
And if he chooses to love, he can choose not to trust because definitely Jaye has to prove that he's trustworthy again. But for him, he should heal from this and not generalize. So it's okay for you to heal.
And hatred is not part of it.
And hatred is not part of it.
The more he hates on Jaye, the more he is not looking forward to come out of this issue. And the company is jeopardized.
Are there any techniques to get out of the trap? You know, this is a very big trap to fall into hatred. This is justification to hate anybody because this person has shown you that they are enemies. But is there any technique that he can apply to make sure that he doesn't fall into that trap? What technique can Dotun apply?
What Jaye did to Dotun is an assault on his professionalism and personality.
Yes.
An assault.
Yes.
What can Dotun do?
Yes, to make sure that he doesn't fall into the trap of hatred and make sure that he becomes a better person instead of the worst person that this situation is trying to make him.
Let him look inwardly. 1. Number 2, let him prepare for other Jayes that he hasn't trusted. Let him look outwardly. And that's when I'll be needing a pencil for you to understand what he would have to do. This is the organization now that Dotun was heading. This is Dotun. This is Jaye. This is the organization. So this is the organization now. This is Dotun's company. So the first person in the center of this, the one that owns the center, is Dotun. Dotun now works externally. So the organization is external. It's a relationship that is external. So Dotun brought in Jaye to help him work with this. So now this is not there anymore. This is still the organization. The organization has cut off from Dotun. Jaye is no longer inside. So now the person at the center of this organization is Dotun. So what Dotun would need to look for is another organization which he can get by sending out emails, making contact, writing new proposals, going back to the drawing board. What didn't I get right? Rebranding. There may be a need for
looking for new opportunities.
If he has to rebrand. So there is always a new organization. Then he has to now look, because it may be very, very important. So there may be a need. Instead of J here now, we can have W, someone else, that he will now bring in. But he is not bringing the person inside this cycle, which represents that he heads the organization. Because if he has to bring this person here inside here, it means everything they are going to be doing in that organization will be divided by 2, as Jaye.
And then he will go through the same story again.
Go through the same story again. Even if there is a partnership that is running, there is one thing that is called overhead costs. How do we share the overhead costs? How do we price the fixed asset? Are we going to be sharing the net profit or the gross profit? So once the person that has the asset should take some percentage on that for depreciation of assets. So when we get to that point, are we sharing the net profit? And what Jaye should do, what Dotun should do, one of it is to set boundaries. Boundaries. How much does my partner need to know about my organization?
So he should not even be as open as he was with Jaye. That's just the summary of everything.
Are helpful to us.
Clear boundaries.
Clear boundaries, well stated. Yeah. In the organization, there should be an organization chart where there is a line of communication. If you are not my business partner, we may be friends, but you need to pass through my secretary to me. So that is that. Then all contracts outside, how exposed is Jaye to that organization? Now that another person is coming, W is coming to replace J, now I have to tell my contractors that I do not allow anyone to represent me on my own, and lawyers has to be involved. Then let him begin to imagine and press towards becoming someone who issues contracts, not someone who works.
and
Since from inception, he has always had the mindset to hand his organization. He may be working towards growth. He may be working towards advancement of not needing to look for contract.
Okay.
And who knows if Jaye would one day apply to get
at the end of the day
from there. He has to see possibilities in all of this, seeking professional help.
This is very important, and most people are unable to get therapists, and that's why we have the show to be able to reach out to people.
In the case of Dotun, he needs 2 therapists. This is Jaye in the whole story.
Yeah.
That Dotun is making an issue. This is Jaye. I can't write with this anymore. This is still the organization. I can't write with this anymore. What it needs to do is to get a sharpener. Sharpen this pencil. While doing this, several things will go. And as several things is going, a new pencil is emerging. So as the new pencil is emerging, he is recovering. As long as he's not ready to cut this off, he is still writing the story with Jaye.
I think that sums that up. It sums everything up. And I think Dotun would need to look inward. What is that thing that you see that you do not have, that is making other people take advantage of you?
If I see Dotun today, I would have given him 2 assignments to do.
2 assignments. What are the assignments?
The first assignment is let him do research of organizations that closed down, that bounced back.
And bounced back, yes.
And let him go study about Prince Harry.
Prince Harry of England.
The same.
Yeah, okay. I think that's something that I would need to do as well. So go and study the case of Prince Harry, who suffered from PTSD for 20 years and bounced back with the help of a therapist. I think this would also help. And I think to wrap it all, there's no situation that you face in life that does not have solution. So nothing is the end of the world. So thank you so much for providing these valuable insights. And I've learned a lot. Forgiveness. You can forgive. You can love again, but trust must be earned. You don't have to trust again. You can love again, but let that person earn the trust again. If not, you'll fall into the same trap. And try not to fall into the trap of hatred, because hatred blinds you and stops you from moving forward, just like therapist Olufunke has rightly said. Thank you so much once again for those wonderful insights. All right, that's it on today's case on betrayal from a close friend. I hope that you've learned a lot and you will be able to use this expert advice in your dealings with people and to recover from any experience you might have encountered that is similar to the case of Dotun. My name once again is Victoria Wilson. See you on the next episode.